This story is a story that comes from 1 Samuel chapter 1 verse 2 to 20. It's a story about Elkanah, Peninnah, and Hannah. Peninnah and Hannah were two wives who were wives to Elkanah. And so Peninnah had kids, but Hannah didn't have any. And so for many years, years after years, Elkanah would go to the temple, offer sacrifices, pleading with the Lord to give Hannah children because he loved Hannah so much. Hannah, on the other side, cried to the Lord many times, would go to the temple and cry to the Lord, worship the Lord, pray in her heart. At one point, she was praying so hard that her words would not come out, but her mouth would move and she'd be crying. She'd be praying in her heart. And her pain and her lack of children was the impetus that drove her to her knees to pray to God so that God would give her children. Peninnah, on the other hand, provoked her many times because she had sons and daughters. Now, in the fullness of time, God did remember Hannah and gave her a son, because Hannah prayed and said, God, if you remember your servant's misery, if you give me a child, I'll give the child back to you. Therefore, one day God remembered her and gave her a son who became one of the greatest prophets of all times. Now, like Hannah, most of us are in waiting. We're waiting for something that we've wanted for so long. We're waiting for a spouse. We're waiting for a career. We're waiting for a job. And God hasn't showed us. And in the midst of the waiting, we've been provoked. We've been, people have laughed at us. People have said things to discourage us from the path of the dreams that we're pursuing or anything that we're pursuing. And like Hannah, I want to remind you that God is faithful in our waiting. And in his own time, in a beautiful moment that he has, he will make things beautiful. He will open doors. Sometimes it may look like something that we want, or sometimes it may look something totally different based on God's purposes and God's will. But for sure, God created us for his purpose. He has wired each and every one of us in a different way. And in his own right time, he will make things beautiful. And so this story draws me to one of my best Psalms, Psalms 27. And I'm going to read it to us as a reminder that God is faithful and he will come through. So Psalms 27 says, wait on the Lord, be of good courage, and he shall strengthen you and your heart. So wait on the Lord, step out in courage, do not be discouraged, and remember that he's faithful, and in his own beautiful time, he will make things beautiful.